Hey, it's Juno. I decided to take over this channel to talk about something near and dear to my heart, original characters. And I'm also ready to share a very controversial opinion. Mary Sues are not bad. I've seen a lot of videos over the years about OCs and how to make them good or make them fit well within whatever universe you're making them for, even if it's your own original universe. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about Mary Sues and self-inserts and whatnot. But not only Mary Sues and Gary Stews, I'm also just going to talk about OCs in general because it's been a topic heavily weighing on my mind. I'm sure anyone who watches this knows what a Mary Sue is, but just for those who don't know, I'll go over it really quickly just in case. Mary Sues or Gary Stews are characters who, in a franchise, are essentially perfect. They're beautiful or handsome, they're overpowered, often they're shipped with a canon character from franchise, and they're also just really good at everything and loved by everyone or hated by the people who were jealous of them. There can be Mary or Gary Sues or Stews for series someone makes originally, like, for example, Blood Raining Knight. It's a relatively original property borrowing canon characters from other franchises, but the main character in that is very perfect, beautiful, loved by everyone, and even creating OCs to hate the main character because of how kawaii she was.
You are not kawaii. You're uglier than my dead dog.
Like I said before though, as a young child in fandom from a young age, I was deep into spaces that taught you to hate originality and try to fit into whatever everyone else wanted. Which means I watched those YouTube videos, I changed my OCs to fit within the confines of what everyone else wanted for other people's OCs. Even back then though, I always thought that way of thinking was really, well, silly. I never liked feeling like I was forced to limit my creativity out of fear that someone might see my character and post on a Mary Sue bashing Tumblr blog, or worry that creators who make fun of OCs on YouTube would see my character and bash on them. You were not allowed to have characters with neon colors or rainbows because that was Mary Sue instantly. It didn't matter what their backstory was, they were just Mary Sue. Boom. You were not allowed to have characters with two of my favorite colors, black and red, or else you were simply edgy or a Shadow the Hedgehog ripoff. You weren't allowed to have black and neon colors, or else you were also an edgy Sue. Everything you did creatively was limited. I remember as a young DeviantArt user, I had one of my drawings saved to a folder once called For YouTube, or something along those lines, which means the person who favorited my drawing intended to use my art or character in their video without permission. I asked them to remove it, and fortunately they complied, but it was that prevalent. And really, it's not fair that that line of thinking, even though we've grown up, and lots of people are trying to combat that line of thinking now, it's still running rampant in younger generations. People mocking others, and I just don't think that's fair. I remember being so terrified as a child of having Mary Sues, I'd frequently go to that website to take the Mary Sue litmus test to make sure my characters were either not Sues or just barely a Sue. All that being said, I've watched a lot of these new Mary Sue videos I've seen around, and while on one hand I agree with a majority of what some of these people have to say, I don't feel like it ever truly encapsulates my full opinion on the subject. And I really just wanted to make this video to detail my feelings on this subject. Whether you agree or disagree, that's fair and totally fine. I just really want to share my thoughts as well, in general. To me, Mary Sues are not bad. They never have been. To me, they're just a way for people to share their love for a series. Self-inserts are not bad, and never have been. And again, to me, it's just a unique way for some fans to share their love for franchise. So why have we, for years, made it such a bad thing to share your love for franchise in such a way? Why have we shunned creators and made them unable to express their raw, true creativity the way they want to share a love for a franchise? I will never understand how a mindset so limiting to creativity was allowed to grow, spread, flourish, and prosper in a creative sphere. We weren't harming anyone, and we never tried to claim our versions of these things were better than canon. We just wanted to create. Those who are actively harassing others for shipping stuff they didn't agree with, for example, if someone shipped their OC with a canon I like, and I harassed them for shipping with my man, that was obviously bad, and we would, as a majority, be against that behavior. But what about the majority of us who never did that? Lots of arguments I see towards that are they always bend the canon characters way too out of character for their little ships, or they always make their characters too overpowered, or they always make their characters break the laws of the universe franchise. But I have to ask again, so what? So what if someone makes an original fan character for franchise that makes the characters out of character, centers the focus on their OC, makes them very strong or otherwise? If I wanted to make a Chunin OC for Naruto, why is it so wrong of me to give them multiple S-rank missions they've been on? Not to mention, in regards to making the canon out of character for shipping, that's sort of important to do in some capacity, I think, for shipping purposes. If you don't ever see how a character would react in a romantic relationship, how are you supposed to make them stay perfectly in character when you've never seen them be romantic before? You just edit their personality a little bit the way you imagine they would be in a relationship, and that's fine. Even if I did make them grossly out of character, that's just because I find it fun and I want to. It's not for anyone else to enjoy but me, so why would we constantly be mocked for it? Short answer is, it's not wrong. It's not bad. And we've all just been conditioned to believe we have to make our OCs fit perfectly into canon and be boring in order to be a good fan character. But I just don't understand why. Sure, maybe some people are more interested in doing it that way, but if I don't want to do it that way, why should I be forced to? I've seen so many how to make a realistic OC forms for different franchises, and almost all of them include stuff like, your character cannot interact with any canon characters ever, or if they do, they can only be a shopkeeper of some sort. Or, you cannot have a very strong character, just make them common folk. Or, your character cannot be the offspring of a goddess or deity. Don't ship them with a canon character or make them related to one. Don't give them tragic backstories. But again, I just have to ask why. I'm making my OC for myself, not for anyone else to enjoy. I'm making a story for myself, not for anyone else to enjoy. So why do I have to adhere to all these rules other people write to make a character enjoyable for other people, when I should be caring about what I think of my character first? And if I want to make my character shipped with a canon or having a tragic backstory, why does or should it matter what anyone else thinks at all? The key point I'm making is, if I'm making a character, self-insert or otherwise, for fun, and because I love franchise and really want to make characters to take part in said franchise, then that's all that should matter. I want to make my self-insert on par level-wise to Ichigo because it seems fun. I want to make my character shipped with Itachi because I like Itachi. I want an OC who follows Yusuke around on his journey as a friend because I just love these series so much, and I want to share my love of these series in my artwork with a character that either represents myself as a self-insert, or just with a character I thought would be fun to make for franchise. I shouldn't have to make my character relatable or digestible for anyone else but myself, because that's who I want to create art for. Myself. It's self-indulgent art, not others' indulgent art. I will forever hardcore hyper-support anyone who wants to make their own crappy Mary Sues, who are overpowered and shipped with canon characters, because at the end of the day, shouldn't we all want to have fun with our art? Including our overpowered Mary Sues, who are super ingrained into a story involved with a lot of canon characters. Including our Mary Sues with bright neon colors, or black and red, edgy Mary Sues and whatnot. I remember on Twitter seeing this cute pairing of a character called Alistair from Hazbin Hotel paired with someone's really cute fan character, and a comment on it read, "Another cringe OCX Alistair pairing," and I'm just like, what? What did that bring you? Joy? Does it bring you joy to comment mean things on the artwork of someone having fun and loving a character and franchise? Why are people so hypercritical over others expressing their love and joy over things they love like this? Why is it so controversial to create characters and make ships with characters who are canon? At the end of the day, it all just boils down to I'm not hurting anyone, so why does what I draw matter? I'm just a simple fan showing my love for franchise by self-inserting my fan character with a canon. I'm a fan showing my love for franchise by creating an OC just to engage in non-romantic friendships with the canons. I'm just a fan like anyone else, wanting to show my love and affection for a franchise I really love. But instead, I do it by making OCs for the franchise, making my own spin-off stories for the franchise, making alternative universes, or even multi-shipping my OC with many characters I really like. That's something often mocked too. But if I'm having fun and not hurting or harassing anyone, it shouldn't matter. Long story short, to wrap up my feelings on the subject, I just want to end this off on a positive note. It's not bad to make whatever characters you want. If you want to make a self-insert to ship with a canon from a franchise you like, then make a self-insert to ship with a canon from a franchise you like. If you want to make overpowered characters, then make those overpowered characters. What other people want your OCs to be should not be in the forefront of your mind ever. Because if they want to make an OC that way, that is their way of making an OC, not yours. Your OC is your OC for a reason, and it's because you made them and you are making them the way you want to. Do not let other people's ideals change your character. The only time you should ever listen to that kind of OC critique is if you're explicitly looking out for it and asking for it. If you like your OC the way they are, then what other people say should not change that. Your characters are your characters, no one else's. So if you're not looking for advice on how to make them fit into franchise better, or make them generally better / more pleasing OCs, then their opinions on your character should not matter. I just want to help people who create characters be able to watch videos like this and not be afraid to make their characters the way they want to. I don't want kids to grow up afraid to be creative because other people tell them not to be. I don't want people limiting their creativity like I did, and others my age back then did as well. I'm sorry if this is a little jumbled or all over the place. I scripted this, but it's my first time scripting a YouTube video, so I don't really know how to properly do it yet. Also, I just made this one still to use for now, because I wasn't sure if I would keep doing videos like this yet or not. If I choose to, then I'll probably make a few more expressive stills to use in the future again, but as for now, just this one was what I thought would be good enough. Anyways, if anyone made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope this resonates with some people out there, and if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know why in the comment section, because I'm really curious what other people have to say, especially if you disagree. I'm curious to see if anyone has any interesting, good, or understandable reasons for disagreeing with this idea. Also, feel free to comment below if you do agree, because that'd be nice to see as well. Again, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you'll stick around for the next video. I intend on making another part about OCs, a little more in depth on the subject of OCs in general, not really specifically Mary Sue's, so yeah, that's what I have planned next. See you then! Everything you did creatively laws of the universe of franchise. But I have to ask again, so what? Hang on. They always bend the characters. Oh my gosh. Ships, or they always make the characters way too overpowered. Oh my gosh. I keep saying. I want to make my self-insert on part, level-wise. Oops. I shouldn't have to make. I just want to help people who create characters, and I'm going to probably try to practice more at scripting video. Also, I just made this one still to use for now. Oh my gosh.